welcome to Indie Film Cafe. I'm your host, Jonathan Moody, and I'm here with...
Paulie Presents known as the Moo Cow. Moo!
And we're also with...
Lady.
And we're also with...
Continuity Monkey.
Lady's in the middle.
Yay.
This time. Alright. So, we're going to be talking about...
Scarlet Fry's Junkfood Horrorfest.
Wow. Fun times. With the sweet Calico Cooper, who's in it for like 2 minutes.
I know.
Kind of wish she was in it for more than that.
Absolutely.
But, you know, she was more of a please of the eye than, you know, a few other people. But anyway, actually, all the girls are kind of cute in this movie.
Sure.
I'm not gonna lie. So all right, so let's begin from the beginning. It's an anthology film.
It's an anthology film where Scarlet Fry, who I guess is some kind of weird mutant, is out in the desert where he has his collection of dead or semi-dead women he has hanging from a tree, because misogyny is a theme that seems to be going with this movie and with this thing.
It's a big theme.
So there's that, and he's kind of the wraparound, and he has these wonderful little tales of joy and wonder that he wishes to impart to all of us to enjoy and make our lives happier and richer and better.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's pretty much a dreary little slug of a film that's got a lot of misogyny, a lot of homophobia, a lot of mindless violence. If you're into gore and that kind of thing, you get some of that. There's plenty of that.
The homophobia kind of confuses me because there's really only one real thing in nudity, and it's a guy's ass in it.
Oh, there's some dangle too. Don't forget the guy.
A little dangle there. It's kind of gross. I wasn't like, you know, for a movie that's like pretty much you know, a bunch of it has homophobia in it as like a theme or something. You know, it's very
homoerotic.
Homoerotic.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know.
Like sort of a self-hating homophobic sort of thing. I don't know. I don't know that much about Scarlet Fry.
I don't think he's like that. I think that was just the
Probably not.
characters he created. Because he did want to create these characters who were just awful human
and
beings.
these are awful people. Every single one of them.
Every single one. And it's one of those films where, and we were kind of talking about it before, but there was like, one of those films where a lot of it was nasty characters who aren't likable at all.
Right.
You know, right? And they're I guess the ones we're supposed to be rooting for necessarily,
or watching.
Just watching.
I'm not sure
I don't know
why we're interested in what they do. But yeah, so it's an anthology. There's like 6 of them. There's 5, and then they sort of tack on a 6th one at the end. So it opens up with Calico Cooper, Alice Cooper's daughter, and she's looking to score some drugs. Mm-hmm. So she runs into this guy who's smoking some tinfoil, and she's like, "Give me some drugs, man." And he's like, "Here's," and he gives her a bag, and he's like, "Yo, go away, bitch." And she's like, "If this is swaggy drugs, I'm going to go kick your ass." And he's like, yeah, whatever. So she goes off and hides next to a wall. And instead of there being drugs, there's a VHS tape. So she gets pissed off and she grabs a tire iron and she beats him to death.
You know, this movie wasn't filmed like today.
Right.
You know, VHS tapes aren't.
Well, and the thing is that I think it says 2007, but I swear to God, it looks like there's stuff from the 90s in there.
Mm-hmm.
So it wouldn't surprise me if some of these bits were filmed earlier and then used later on.
Yeah, just transferred to this feature film or whatever.
Calico looks pretty darn good, I gotta say.
It's it's only a little bit after like an hour. It's only a little over an hour long. And so I don't even know if it's technically a feature. It's kind of almost like a long short. But, you know, whatever. It has, so basically these, you know, Calico meets up with her buddy or something, this guy randomly who's throwing shit in a dumpster, and then says, you know, let's go watch this movie.
Right, so she's got the movie, so she puts it in there, and then...
I guess we don't see her actually put it in, though.
No,
so
but...
we just see the movie itself.
Right, and that's when Scarlet Fry comes in, and he does his whole I guess, living zombie thing. And then he's kind of the host who introduces all of the different shorts.
And all the different shorts are like, well, one short involves a guy that meets this girl at a laundromat, his like a complex laundromat.
It's like a big fat guy.
And invites her up, and I actually made a comment and said that it looks like he would eat her, and I was right.
That's what it is.
That's literally the short.
So yeah, that's the short. He brings her up there, he kills her, he chops an arm off, and proceeds to chew on it, as you do, apparently.
With really, really loud sound effects.
And he's sitting there going, ah, because, you know, that's what happens in Arizona, at least, anyway.
I don't know. But anyway, that's the short, literally.
That's
the
short number one.
And that was probably the best of them all.
I know, that's kind of a shame.
That's kind of sad. Like, because, like, that actually had somewhat of a story. Everything else kind of, I don't know, like, the stories are just too short.
Vague character sketches at best.
I know. So the second short they show is this nurse one, right? That's
right.
The second one.
This is the guy, the old guy, whom I think is Scarlet Fry himself.
Yeah, I think I read that on IMDb.
In the wheelchair, and there's this nurse, Cara Moody, as it turns out.
Her name is Cara Moody.
I
like her last name already.
So well, first of all, this one is filmed in black and white, so you already know it's got kind of an artsy thing going on, and so she's pushing him along, and she stops. She's clearly not interested in what she's doing, and she tries to feed him. I don't know if it's baby food or yogurt or something slimy.
Something slimy that just keeps
doesn't
falling
want it. It just falls all over the place and makes a disgusting mess. She's not having it. He's not having it. She's not happy about it. And in the meantime, this guy drives up with a some kind of an assault weapon or something.
A rifle.
A rifle of some kind, and he proceeds to shoot the old guy in the head. She gets all happy and does a little dance, and then turns out, I guess she had this set up because she went to meet the guy and gave him a hug, and they drive away.
That's it.
That's it.
Once again, so short and so, like, not much of a story.
No.
You know? And it was kind of like, I think I would have liked the short had it even been shorter because like, a lot of it was a lot of her feeding him, and it was gross, but it just kept going for way too long. I felt like this was dragging on a little bit.
But it's the same kind of a thing where it's like you just don't believe what you're seeing. You don't believe people are doing this. The first guy just killing and eating people randomly for the hell of it. No. But here's the other thing, like the nurse, if you didn't like your job, just leave.
Just quit.
Why would you go to the trouble of killing somebody?
Yeah, especially if you could get caught in some way or another. You're doing it in a public park.
Right.
You could hear people in the background, like, playing and stuff. Like,
it's very
not
strange.
like it was a private little thing, you know, or whatever. So.
I know. So I don't know. The motivations behind some of these characters are tenuous at best.
Right.
You know, so I don't know. I mean, I guess it's an excuse to show violence and show gore. I mean, I guess some of the effects are okay. But I don't know. The story, the little tiny bits of the story there are, it just doesn't seem worth it.
Okay, so the third one is the most homophobic of them all.
My God.
I think it's the only homophobic one. I think we've been acting like this whole thing's homophobic, but I think this was the only one.
No, it's the only one, but it stains the movie so badly. It's just
weird.
reprehensible.
And so, like, these kids are looking for some money. They don't know how to get money. I mean, well, get a fucking job, whatever.
And these aren't even like kids. These are like 21-year-old skater bros.
Like,
you know?
Lazy guys.
People that you automatically can't stand.
And they want drugs. So this guy says, I can get you money so we can get drugs. So they go down to this parking garage, and this gay guy likes, I'm guessing, I mean, he sounds gay, and he likes to get spanked in the butt by skateboarders.
And he's wearing some very, very tiny pink panties.
Like thongs.
And he's got his hair and like pigtails, and he's got the shirt tied up there, and he's 3 hairs away from being a complete caricature.
Yeah. So pretty much just your stereotypical gay guy. So he likes to, he's got a fetish for getting spanked by skateboards and stuff. And so the kids are like, "This is gay. Let's let's not do it." And then whatever. And then they say,
He's so
he's like, "Do you want your money or not?" So the kids do it. They take the money and they leave. And then they go get their weed, and then they go home to the guy's house, the main guy's house.
Raining.
Pouring. Like, what was that noise?
Pouring.
Anyway, so they go to the house, and they end up, his girlfriend, the main guy's girlfriend, ends up kind of saying, "What, are you gay? For doing this?"
Yeah,
and they joke on
how
him.
did you get the money? They laugh at him and tell him. She's like, "What, are you gay now? Are you a homo?" Blah blah blah. Just like what a normal nice person would say.
Right.
And just makes things worse. So he decides that now he's got to be a real man. And he's like, "I'm not gay." And so he takes his skateboard, his backup skateboard, and he bangs a bunch of nails into it. And he goes back to the guy who presumably thinks he's going to get another spanking for $10. And
he does.
And he does. And he just basically kills him. And it lingers.
It lingers on for way too long. It's showing the stuff, but it was kind of cool. Like, good special effects. I mean, that was the cool part. The whole rest of the movie, and then so the guy comes home, his girlfriend's already asleep. He goes in, whatever, falls asleep, wakes up. The girlfriend's like still ragging on him about being gay and blah blah blah. So he kills her.
Right, he just smothers her in bed because it's a real American couple.
Right. So he murders her, and then that's it.
That's it.
I mean, once again, there's no real story for any of these stories. There's just it's very simple. It's not complex at all.
No.
Pretty much.
And the thing is,
straightforward.
it's like who do you like in any of these things? Just nobody.
I mean, no, but we're supposed to watch these people just murder these people. I mean,
right. So
it's absolutely no
it's
sense.
a bit of a Debbie Downer, but I mean. Horror movies are supposed to have something that affect you in a guttural way. I don't know that this necessarily does that.
Yeah.
So anyway, we go on to number 4, which is probably the worst, I think, at least as far as I saw it.
I thought you liked that one.
I don't know.
You said originally you liked it or something.
No. I like the one after this one. This one is the 4th one is the one where the guy's just bored.
Oh! Yes.
He's
bored, this is the worst one. Okay.
And so he's got nothing else better to do than to kill himself.
Yeah.
So we get to watch him do his dishes in the exact same apartment with the exact same furniture as the first fat guy, by the way. So he does all his stuff. He goes through his routine. He brushes his teeth. He then gets in the shower. That's where we get the dangle scene, after he takes off his pineapple underpants. And he squinches down in the tub and does a red bath where he takes the razor blade and gives it a shoo. And I told Paul that they should have called it Bored to Death. Right.
Because it literally and I was literally bored to death. Like I was bored.
So I was happy that the guy sort of took that way out.
No, I wasn't, because there's just. Well, I wasn't happy just because there was nothing. We got nothing. We didn't learn anything. I was
happy that it ended it.
I know, but it shouldn't have happened.
I know.
This movie should not have existed.
I know.
Unless there was some story.
But it's another thing where the simpler explanation or the simpler solution would have been do something else, go watch a movie, go do anything.
I totally forgot about this. That's why I thought the next one was.
No.
The one that you liked, and I forgot about it, and now I remembered, and now I will probably forget it again.
Eek.
I hope.
Yeah, so it was
very forgettable.
It was rough. So next we go on to number 5. So this is the one that I don't know that it's necessarily a good one, but it's probably the best one in my opinion, just because I like the way that it was set up. So you've got this guy, I guess he's a Satanist, and he gets this ceremonial chalice, and he's got the ceremonial dagger. He cuts himself in the hand, bleeds a whole lot into it, and then he makes this pentagram on the I don't know what it is. I guess it's
on the ground, warehouse or something. It's not warehouse.
I'm not really. It almost looks like it's on a rug or something. It's just gross. So anyway, he does this and he gets in the middle of it. He starts playing blah, 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 blah. And his girlfriend or wife comes down and she's like, oh, why are you doing this again? You said you'd never do this. And he's like, I told you can't leave me or something like that. And so she's like, okay, I know one way out. And so she goes over. First she calls up and complains to somebody about it.
Somebody who we don't know.
We don't know.
We have no idea. We can't hear the person. There's no hint to like, I thought it might be like a lover or something.
Or
mom. No, I don't think it was a mom. The way that she was talking about it.
I don't know.
You couldn't tell. You couldn't really tell. So who knows?
Her solution was to take out a gun that was in the drawer and go over and shoot him and just like leave him there. So naturally, the first thing she does is get comfy and take a shower because that's what you do. And meanwhile, naturally, the guy wakes up. And
he woke up because obviously he had done some kind of satanic ritual that caused him to to wake up.
Yes, you probably read more into that than me.
No, but I mean, like that's what I got. It's called The Devil Made Me Do It. So obviously the devil, is somehow in control of this guy, bringing him up and killing. That's the idea. That's what I got from it. Okay, so the first one and this one are probably my two
This one's
favorite.
got at least a little bit of stylishness to it. It's nice and dark. It's
got story.
It's got some story to it.
Yeah, you kind of understand what's going on.
The acting is pretty good.
The problems with these shorts are they're too short.
Right.
They don't have. When you make a short film, and I've learned I've made many short films, but you've got to. If you only have 5 minutes, you have to tell a story.
Quick.
Story quickly that is 5 to 10 minutes. You have to make sure that the audience understands exactly what's going on. Actually. And sometimes it is difficult. So
yeah, there's no room for filler. There's no room for throwaway scenes.
Yeah, literally that board one was was all it was filler. Right. That's what it felt like. And so I understand when people put that stuff in there, they're like, oh, I have this short. But why even make that? Why even waste your time making
And then,
that?
to me, the thing that got me for this particular one is the way it ends is that, of course the guy's going to get up and kill the chick. I mean, that's kind of where it is. Mm-hmm. But he doesn't just do that. He decides he's going to, pull out her very fake intestines. And it just kind of lingers on that. And it's like, okay, it's just kind of a reason to show that.
More gore.
Right.
Which was, it was cool, but it, whatever. It just didn't
add much.
Yeah. So the last thing, so it kind of ends on that, and then they're like, oh, by the way, here's one more short. And then it's right at the credits. They say, we got one more short for you. They stop
it right in the middle, wait a second. We got one more to show you, which I kind of thought was cool. Nobody expected that.
Nobody expected it. I thought it was over. And then
we get two more very miserable people involved in their miserable lives, one of which is pregnant. And so she tells the guy freaks out about it and is just kind of a jackass. Mm-hmm. And then they go back to his place, she leaves, and then she comes back with a surprise. And oh, what a surprise it is. She's got a bag full of goodies, and fortunately he has these hooks in his bedroom wall, so she's able to chain him to the bed. Fortunately, chains him to the bed, and then pretty much tortures him with pins and sews his mouth shut, and I think she pulls his eyes out with something.
Gross.
Yeah, it's a little weird. So it's kind of like a sort of twisted revenge thing, only the female doing it to the male, which was not a bad little reversal.
It wasn't bad. The whole movie wasn't bad. Or whatever. It was
bad.
No, it was pretty bad. But it had some moments.
Again, for an indie film, you got to take certain. There's a certain grain of salt you have to take. You're not going to have the kind of budget that's going to allow you to do some of the visual effects that you really want to do, and we understand that. But I don't know. To me, the issues were just more along the lines of, like Jonathan said. The shorts, if you're going to do something that short, it really, really needs to be quicker to the point. You can't linger around. And then just some of the stories themselves, they just didn't seem worthy to me to want to watch it. Why am I watching some of these things?
No, I agree, and I think that's the problem. Is like a lot of times these shorts were just like you just go okay, like it's okay, that's done.
Like the guy who kills himself. That's not hard. That's just kind of.
It's not hard at
Not
all.
really
It's,
anything.
it's just a
blah.
dude killing himself. Like there's no supernatural element. There was no
Right.
nothing. It was just
Yeah, and it's not like, say, the German director who did Der Toten King and Necromantique, where he's taking that concept to a whole other different level. No, it's just, here's a guy, he's bored, he kills himself because he's bored.
pretty much. That's what that was. So I don't know. It was okay. Would I tell everybody to go rush out and buy this movie? Hell no.
No.
Would I tell you if you could see it for free or see it at a friend's house? Probably do it when you're drunk.
Part of a 50-pack, because Pendulum, they're always putting out tons and tons of stuff. And I imagine Scarlet Fry has done other things, right? Hasn't he?
Yeah, he's done a few other films.
So, it's just like, some of the other directors that we've done. You have to start someplace. And
I think this is like his second film or something.
This
and
definitely has the feel of kind of an early film for somebody.
Yeah.
So, you got to start somewhere. You got to work out the kinks. You got to sort of figure out what kind of a director you are. And
I'm sure Scarlet
It's an early
even
movie.
knows, like what to do now. You
Right,
know what I mean?
right.
As opposed to back then when he was learning and
Right.
everything. So
It's a very different situation if you've got a handful of movies under your belt and you make this, whereas if you're just starting out and you're still figuring things out, very different.
yeah. So all right. Well, I mean, I guess are we gonna do our 5-star scale?
5-star scale. I'm afraid 1 is what I'm going to give it, and that's being charitable. I did like Calico Cooper. I like the fact that obviously it has either the blessings of or hopefully financial backing of Alice Cooper. I think that was kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
I liked some of the places that it was shot in Arizona. And I just like supporting indie film. Unfortunately, this one didn't really rise above 1 star for me.
All right. Well, I actually gave it 2, and that's also being generous. But the main reason I'm being that generous is because the 2 short films that I liked, that I thought were the best, were The Devil Made Me Do It, and the first one I forgot what that one's called.
Fat Man Eats Girl.
Fat Man Eats Girl, Cannibal Fat Man. I thought that those were just fun. I enjoyed watching it, enough to whatever. But the rest of them, like The Solution, it just lingered for way too long and was kind of boring for a bit.
And was a poor solution.
Yeah, it was really poor. It should have been called The Poor Solution.
Right.
Maybe, but
The bad choice.
The bad choice. But you know what? Whatever. They got away with it apparently, I guess. And, went off. And, you would think, though, she'd have to check him out of that thing. I don't know.
There are repercussions in the real world, so...
There's too much,
that
like,
they
I
just
didn't
scrub
buy
past.
that just made that short just, like, could have been cool.
Right.
Not very good.
The skater one, the skater bro one, was the ugliest of the bunch. I really disliked that one
It almost, that one puts a bitter taste in your mouth.
Yeah.
Because it makes, even though I don't think Scarlet Fry is very homophobic at all or anything, but it just, that's what it reads as.
Oh, yeah.
And that, like, GLAAD would be very upset. They wouldn't be very glad.
Well, and there aren't a lot of women that would be very interested in this either. Then he goes and kills the female, and then Scarlet Fry's character is running around with chained up women and torturing and hitting with rocks and shit.
The only one that had, like a woman kind of taking charge is the last one.
Right.
And that one.
And the second to last one too. At least she kills the guy. She thinks she's gonna solve her problem. It's just the devil
but still, that
intervenes.
show still proves that it becomes misogynistic because the guy still wins in the end.
Yeah.
So whatever. But but at least the last one had boobs a little bit, had like a side boob kind of thing going for it.
Better than Dangle, at least from our point
Dangle
of view.
and lots of ass, stuff.
Oh yeah, lots of hairy butt.
Yeah, so we don't really want to see that stuff. Yeah, there's a lot more male nudity in this movie.
You know, that's not that big of a deal.
Well, no, but like for a movie that's homophobic, it's got a lot more male nudity.
Yeah.
It's a little weird. But all right, well, so all right, I gave it a 2 because I didn't hate it, didn't really like it too much, but would I ever watch it again? Probably not.
It has a few moments in there, but overall, yeah, I just I would hope that next time that there'll be an actual story, a coherent story like one that would go throughout the film, or at least some way connect them in some kind of way, or just kind of make them more interesting.
Well, what I was suggesting before when we were talking is like I said, like before the show started, I said, why wouldn't they just like connect all the characters together? Like a lot of it takes place in the same apartment complex. It seems. It would have been cool if I had this thought in my head of the second episode they come back to the house and you see that the fat guy walk out or something.
Right, that they're neighbors or something.
Yeah.
There's a connection.
And then the third guy comes back. You know what I mean? Like it could have been like Trick or Treat where they have all of them connected by walking together. And that's just a cool idea. I mean, hell, I put that in a movie where there's a complex and everybody's like, you see everybody's horror story.
Right,
I think that's kind of a cool idea. But no, they didn't do that. But it didn't matter because it was all tied together with Scarlet Fry and doing really, really bad jokes. It reminded me of like Elvira and all those other...
The standard horror host who's kind of gross and makes bad jokes.
Yeah, exactly. And that's...
Hoary old device.
That's exactly what you want in these kind of things,
And like I said, it's part of this 50-pack of Pendulum movies. If you went and bought it, you might as well throw it on there and enjoy it for what it's worth. So it is what it is. So there you have it. All right. So what do you think?
I think that you guys should check it out if you want to risk doing it. But yeah, if not, definitely say skip it.
Yeah. Well, why not? Give it a try.
If
you might
get it
like
out
it
of those
better.
Pendulum Pictures things, packs.
A mark of quality.
Mark of quality. We should do more of those.
Absolutely.
At some point.
Well, shit, I got 50 in that one box as it is.
Oh wow. So there you go.
But that was the one with Prehistoric Bimbos in Armageddon City, and if you recall in the review, I said that was the best movie of that whole pack. I stand by those words. There are a couple of interesting little movies in there. We'll get to them.
We'll get to them. But for now, thank you guys for watching.
Absolutely.
If you like what you heard, subscribe and give us a thumbs up. Also, give Continuity Monkey a thumbs up.
Because he needs it. He needs the help.
He needs the thumbs up. All right. Well, thank you guys so much and hope you enjoyed it. Bye.